Hello and welcome to Leader Insights. Today, we are diving into our insights on the go, and our theme is empathetic leadership, a style centered on understanding and sharing the feelings of our team. But is empathy always beneficial in leadership? Let's explore the pros, cons, and misconceptions of empathetic leadership. So why empathetic leadership? It's one of the big questions. Why, as leaders, do we want to use this approach to build and promote our teams? High performance and, of course, effectiveness. Well, we're going to go over the benefits first. So let's start with improving trust and loyalty. When leaders show genuine empathy to their team members, they feel valued, they feel respected, understood, and it fosters a stronger level of trust. Empathetic leadership also helps us enhance our communication. Our job is to listen actively to the people we are responsible for, which then enables us to create an environment where open dialogue thrives. People should be able to feel connected to you and have a willingness to speak with you honestly. And not just honestly, but transparently. Employees feel safe when they have a voice of their own and they're able to express their thoughts. And this is all part of how you as a leader show up and become empathetic. And remember, the goal of empathy is to seek understanding. The next benefit is higher employee engagement. You want your staff members to be engaged with you, to be engaged with one another, but to also feel emotionally safe that who they are, what they say, and what they contribute actually matters. So make sure that when you're leading, that you're focused on creating a space where there's psychological safety and your employees are able to come to the table with their thoughts and their ideas without concern that there's going to be judgment, that there's going to be bias, or that there's going to be a rebuttal about what they're bringing into the conversation. The other benefit to this is that it allows engagement and retention. So not only do you have a group of people engaged, having conversations with you, they are also willing to stay. Remember, people quit their jobs because of poor leadership. So being empathetic and building those relationships actually matters. Last but not least, strong team cohesion. Empathy builds strong relationships, fosters collaboration, and it really creates a much better team dynamic. Now let's jump right into the pitfalls. So what are some of the things that may hinder this approach of leadership? Now, risk of emotional burnout. It takes a really strong leader to exercise a level of empathy towards their team. And remember, oftentimes it is you, the leader, that's doing this with multiple people, right? And so you have to be vulnerable and able to not only manage your own emotions, but be present. Do not allow your emotions to get in the way of being able to listen to someone with purpose and with intention. And that could be training, right? And if you're not doing things to take care of yourself, you are going to feel burnt out. So it's really important that you understand that while you are managing with empathy, you also have to take care of yourself. You have to manage your own emotions. Now, the other piece here is difficulty making tough decisions. We are social beings. We want to be able to do what's right for people, and we want people to feel good. We want people to enjoy our company and like us. But in leadership, it's not about liking, it's about effectiveness, it's about being consistent, and it's about the collective, right? It's about making decisions that are going to benefit the team and the organization that you are representing. So remember, they both go hand in hand. You can be empathetic and also make very complex decisions. It is in the how that sets good leaders apart, right? So make sure that when you are tasked with making a difficult decision, that you're doing it without taking the dignity of someone else. do not hesitate. Make sure that you always go back to the facts, and that you are making the decisions, not because you want to be liked, so you become the yes person, but because you want to be effective, because you want to move the organization's goal and mission forward. So remember, leaders sometimes have to do unpopular decisions, and that's okay. Also work with managing your own emotions as you enter in that phase of decision-making process. And how do you make that decision-making process inclusive, right? Part of empathetic leadership is not just understanding, but it's also having a high degree of transparency so that you can maintain trust. Very important. The other piece here is bias, the potential of bias. When you are in a relationship with people, there's going to be people that you gravitate to because there's just lots of commonality. So it's really important that you begin to understand that you are responsible for all, right? There's no differentiation here. We manage people differently, but our path on how we engage people should be the same. So don't get caught into unintentionally leading to favoritism or creating the perception that there is favoritism towards particular people or their circumstances, right? Great example of this is a person who's single and has apparently all the time in the world to a person who might have children. And we create some biases, and we may manage people differently based on capacity, based on time. Maybe we have a bias related to, this person has a family, so they need to get extra time or less time during different tasks or designated work. Really important that you are looking at the big picture and that you're making fair decisions based on the work, based on capacity. Everybody has a responsibility to hold transparency, to be honest, and to ensure that we are treating all of us equitably and that it's, a shared common experience for all your employees. The other piece here is boundaries. Setting boundaries. Leaders need to be able to set boundaries. And some of us will struggle with that. Some people, it's a little easier, but setting boundaries is something that it's appropriate in a professional setting. You don't want to risk your personal professionalism and the organization's success because you have not been able to set proper boundaries so that you can have healthy, honest professional relationships. Now, let's talk about misconceptions. Have you ever heard, empathy equals weakness? Well, I used to hear that all the time. You're just too nice, Antonio. You're just too nice. And the truth is that you can be nice, and I am actually nice, right? But often empathy can lead to the misconception that we are soft and that we are weak. In reality, empathy requires a lot of strength and a lot of emotional intelligence. It requires your ability to be selfless, to put yourself aside so that you can be present in someone else's experience. So remember that, it is not a weakness. It is actually a superpower, and I truly believe that. Empathy means always saying yes. No, it doesn't mean that. People could perceive that. There's a big misconception about that. But we talked about making hard decisions. Empathy gives you the information that you need and the understanding that you need to actually make effective decisions that creates and brings balance to the decision-making process. So don't allow others to have a misconception about empathy. Always explain the why. Why am I making these decisions? Effective leaders always find the balance between understanding and decision-making. Last but not least, empathy leaders are easily manipulated. I don't know. Do you feel that way? Have you implemented your empathetic hat as you manage your teams? If you have, and this has been your experience, how do we combat that, right? Leaders make decisions for their audience, right? For